This video is about that kind of strength, not the kind that clenches its fists or raises its voice, but the kind that listens before it speaks, that feels deeply before it reacts, that holds space instead of trying to fill it. A quiet, intuitive, deeply human form of masculinity, one that doesn't always wear armor but instead moves through the world with awareness, empathy, and unwavering inner resolve. It's a strength that rarely gets headlines or handshakes. It doesn't shout from podiums. It doesn't flex for validation. It simply is, gentle but unshakable, compassionate but fiercely rooted in truth. And yet, in a world obsessed with performance, competition, and control, this kind of strength is often misunderstood, labeled as soft, dismissed as too sensitive, overlooked, until it's needed. But what if I told you that being a man who feels deeply, thinks abstractly, and loves fiercely is not a flaw? That this inner world of mine, rich, reflective, emotionally alive, isn't a deviation from manhood, but a deeper, fuller expression of it? Because being an INFJ man, emotional, introspective, empathic, isn't a weakness. It's a rare and vital strength this world is starving for. A strength that doesn't dominate, it harmonizes. That doesn't control, it connects. That doesn't seek power, but seeks purpose. This is not just a personality type you read about in a book or take in a quiz. It's a lived experience, a soul pattern, a blueprint for a different kind of masculinity, one that integrates heart and mind, intuition and action, fire and grace. And in this video, I'm not coming to you as a teacher or a coach. I'm showing up as a man, fully, vulnerably, truthfully, who has walked this path and still is. We're going to explore the inner terrain of INFJ men, the delicate dance between masculinity and sensitivity, the deep ache of being misunderstood, the emotional intensity we bring into love and friendship, and the sacred journey of embracing who we really are in a world that often tells us we should be someone else. This is my heart on the table, my journal spoken out loud, and if you've ever felt like you were too much, or not enough, or just didn't fit into society's tight little box of manhood, then this, right here, is for you. Let this be your permission to feel, to connect, to stand in your truth without apology. Because the world doesn't need more copy. It needs more men brave enough to be real. Let's start balancing masculine and feminine energy. We're told from the moment we're born what a real man looks like. Strong jaw, firm handshake, no tears, no fear. But as an INFJ, my experience of manhood has always been, I would say, different. I am masculine, but not in the way that sells cologne. I am feminine, but not in the way that confuses me. I am both, and that is my balance. I've stood my ground without ever raising my voice. I've helped people heal without prescribing advice. I've cried in silence and found strength in surrender. I've led without needing followers. That's the kind of masculinity the world doesn't teach, but desperately needs. Being misunderstood and misjudged. The hardest part of being an INFJ man isn't the depth. It's being misunderstood, constantly. People think we're weak because we're gentle, that we're soft because we care. But real strength doesn't beat its chest. It bears its soul. It loves fiercely. It listens without waiting to speak. I've had friends drift away because I felt too much. I've had relationships where I was the safe harbor but never the priority. And each time I questioned myself. Was I broken? Was I too much? No. I was just rare. The loneliness of rarity. There's a special kind of loneliness that comes from being different. It's not just about being alone. It's about not being seen, not being mirrored, not being understood. I've been in rooms full of people and felt invisible. I've shared pieces of my soul and been met with blank stares. Sometimes I wondered if I'd ever find someone who truly got me. And that's the INFJ wound. Deep longing, deeper silence. But over time I've stopped searching for people who understand me, and started being someone who understands himself. Because when you stand firmly in your truth, you become a lighthouse. Romance and relationships, a blessing and a curse. Loving as an INFJ man is a sacred thing. We don't dabble, we don't play, we dive in, deeply, fully, often too soon and too fast. I've loved women who were drawn to my light but not prepared for its heat. I've been the therapist, the fixer, the safe space, until I had nothing left to give. But INFJ love is not just affection, it's alchemy. And when it's not met with the same energy, it burns us out. I've learned that loving deeply doesn't mean loving endlessly. That not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay. And more importantly, that I don't need to bleed to prove I can heal. Redefining boundaries. I used to think boundaries were barriers. Now I see them as declarations. A boundary is not saying I don't care. It's saying I care enough about myself not to shrink for you. I no longer overextend myself to make others comfortable. I don't apologize for needing solitude or for protecting my energy. I've learned that I don't have to explain myself to be worthy of respect, and neither do you. Why INFJ men matter, now more than ever. We're not meant to be many. We're meant to be meaningful. INFJ men are not loud voices in crowds, we're quiet revolutions. We shift energy. We hold space. We make people feel seen. In a world starving for empathy, our presence is a form of activism. We show that strength is not dominance, it's dignity. That masculinity is not performance, it's presence. That vulnerability is not weakness, it's wisdom. Words to my younger self and maybe to you. To the younger me, confused, overwhelmed, and hiding his depth. This is what I'd say. You're not broken. You're blooming. Your emotions aren't your enemy. They're your compass. Don't numb yourself to fit in. Don't shrink yourself to survive. Your softness is sacred. Your depth is divine. And to any INFJ man watching this right now, if you feel unseen, this is your mirror. I see you. You belong. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Being an INFJ man is not a burden. It's a blessing. We are the balance, the bridge, the quiet heartbeat of a world that often forgets to feel. We don't need to be louder. We need to be truer, to stand in our integrity, to love without losing ourselves, to cry without apology, to lead with heart. This world is noisy, but there's something about a quiet soul that changes everything. So don't run from your softness. Don't question your depth. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. And your existence, your full, layered, beautiful existence, is your power. If this message resonated with you, don't scroll past it. Like this video. Comment your story, whether you're an INFJ man or someone who knows one. Subscribe for more deep, honest conversations like this. Share this with someone who needs to feel seen today. Let's build a space where being yourself isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. And until next time, be strong.